Hey, John Cruz here with your tackle test, episode 2, out here on the water. Got a couple baits that I'm not familiar with. We're gonna show you some underwater footage of each of these. I'm gonna take them out of the box. It'll be kind of like an unboxing, but let's get to it real quick. The first bait we're gonna test is the Optimum Bait's Boom Boom Swim Bait. It's a line through Fred Roumbanis swim bait. I have seen some pictures from my boy Freddie, some videos of him posting of this bait, so I'm really curious to see how this thing runs underwater. Fred is a very good swim bait fisherman, and I think that's gonna be good. This is the Gan Craft Screw Bait. It is a huge spy bait. It's got props on both ends. We're gonna take it out of the package here in a little bit, but you can see it says $65 on there. 65 bucks for this thing. What I was told was one of the original spy baits. Like, this was one of the first baits that, you know, had the wobble and all that. So we're gonna see what the screw bait is all about. That thing is huge, by the way. And then these have just come out, the Gamakatsu Finesse Jig Head. Now, it is just a screw lock type, little Ned rig type jig head. It's a #1 size hook. This is a 16th ounce. They make a couple different sizes, and I'm gonna try put that on. I'm gonna put it on the old Ned bomb, but we're gonna put that on there. We're gonna look at that under the water. You see how easy it rigs up with whatever you like to Ned rig. So we'll do that last, but I'm gonna go ahead and open up this Optimum Baits, the Boom Boom. My buddy Fred. I just take this sucker out, man. Oh my gosh, it feels really, really soft. I mean, you can see I'm just holding it. I think that's a key to these big swim baits, is making sure that they're really soft. If they're hard, they don't have that wobble, but I'm expecting this thing to have lots of the wobble on it. It's even got the treble hook separate in a little handy, hard to get out of wrapper. This thing's, man, I'm just tearing it all to pieces there. I'll put that down in the bottom of the boat so it doesn't blow out, but I got someone just feed my line through there, and then we'll put the hook in the belly. But I've got my trusty Cashin swim bait rod. It's a big 7-11, but it's the heavy action, which has some backbone to it. It's 20-pound, got some 20-pound Sunline fluorocarbon on there. It's got a big hole. You can look at that. It's got a big gaping hole right in the front, and then the line will come out on the belly there. That's what they call a line through. So it's got a internal weight inside of the belly, as the line throughs do. I'm just gonna put that in there, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and tie directly to the hook. So that's kind of the way it works with these big line through swim baits, that you tie directly to the hook, and the swim bait can slide up and down. This is the 500. Well, they give you this suggested tackle and everything, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is they have a 5.5 and a 6-inch. And we're gonna go ahead and see. So when you hook one, you know, the swim bait will slide up and then the hook stays in the fish's mouth, but that's kind of what you want to do, is just embed that one hook, so you have the 2 treble hooks. See, they've got these little fins that kind of meet up here to help keep it from, you know, deflect it. That's pretty slick. If you can see that the way that they kind of line up with the treble hooks. So I'm just gonna do what I normally do, and I just put them in the water. As most of these line throughs, they're gonna be made to fish pretty slow in the water column, or, you know, pretty slow. Oh my gosh, this thing, as you can see, this thing's got some wild kick. I'm just making little easy tosses. And the head's kicking back and forth like that, and the back of it's kicking. Oh man. Yeah, so I could heave this thing right down the tree line. Yeah, this light bait has got a lot of weight to it, so you're probably going to want to have a bigger swim bait rod. That's what they recommend on the back of the package, is a 7.6 to a 7.11. And this, like I said, this is a Cashin 7.11. I think it's perfect. It's the heavy. God, you can see that. Oh my God, look! Oh my God! I just had one about 2.5 pounds come up behind it and kiss it. It got too close to the boat. It got too close to the boat. Man, that thing is awesome. Yeah, this tail is kicking hard. I might be investing in some more of these with Freddie. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was about a 2.5 to 3 pounder come up out of the shade and just gave that thing a little kiss. Now, if you don't know anything else about swim baits, as you can see, it's pretty calm out here today, pretty flat, slick. This is not the optimal conditions for swim baits. You want to have, you know, some heavy wind, maybe even some overcast. You want some sort of conditions that's going to help disguise this, even as good as it looks. You want some conditions to help disguise this swim bait, and then you're going to be in business. Maybe you get low light conditions, like first thing in the morning, you can absolutely crush them on that, or maybe around some grass or something like that. But man, that's the boom boom swim bait right there. Holy smokes. First cast and had a 2.5 or 3 pounder come up and kiss that thing, and that is I'm gonna have to get some more of those things. That looks really, really good. But we got more baits to test out here, so I'm gonna put Freddie's boom boom swim bait over to the side. All right, so now I'm gonna come down here and check out this screw bait 130. As I said, 65 bucks is what they retail for most places. So this, again, Gan Craft, made in Japan. It's like an unboxing of this thing for sure, because I can't even hardly get it open. But I'm gonna slide this dude out of this fancy package. Man, that's a big old bait right there. It's got some big old props on it. It's got some old school deal there to keep the hooks. It's got 3, looks like number 2 treble hooks on there, and then it's got a little clasp to hold it on, a little connector. That can also act as a pivot point between, you know, to allow the bait to maybe move a little bit more. So, I mean, this thing is big and it's pretty heavy. I know from fishing spy baits in the past that when you're fishing spy baits, you want to have as light a line as possible. So for this thing, I'm thinking 14 is about the as small as I want to go when I'm going to be having $65 lure on the end of my rod. So I'm going to be I'm going to trust my old Sunline Sniper 14-pound San Diego Jam knot. Put that on there. You can see how to tie that if you check out some of my other YouTube videos. But got that on there. It's a 7-foot medium heavy action casting rod. This is a 7-to-1, probably 6.4 or 7-to-1 gear ratio. Daiwa reel is what I would go with here. It wants to fall horizontally. Oh my gosh, that thing, when you let it free fall, man, it has some heavy side-to-side action, that heavy rocking action like you get with the spy baits. It's got these big props on them, and they are spinning like a champ. Trying to see, it's got a slow quiver to it. As I'm reeling it, it looks like it has a quiver to it. Yeah, it's different than the little 80 spy baits that you see on the market, because this thing, I guess it's so big, it doesn't have that quick shiver to it. It has that kind of a slower rocking action as you reel it through the water. And just like with any spy bait, the slower you reel it, the more rocking action you're gonna get out of it. This is very interesting though. There could be some times where I would throw this. I mean, these the blades are putting off a tremendous amount of flash. Tremendous amount of flash. So I'm gonna, I mean, it looks like the blades are kind of, you know, set at the same angle, but this thing is, I mean, it's over an ounce, man. You can absolutely heave this thing. I don't know exactly what applications that it was designed for, but I can think of a few, you know, down in Florida when the fish get acting funny, schooling, you know, potentially being able to throw it around places that have big fish, but are not used to seeing baits come through the middle of the water column. That's where, I mean, we just, you know, I was at Lake Fork earlier this year. I might be throwing that on somewhere like Lake Fork, Gunnersville, places like that. I may have to keep that into my, I'm gonna keep one of these in the boat for sure, but I don't have enough experience with it. I don't know exactly the applications that it's gonna be made for, but we'll just have to keep that guy in mind. So now I'm gonna check out the little Gamakatsu Finesse Jig Head. Again, #1 hook. Get these baits out of the package. I kind of like the package inside of the package because when I take one out, I know that these ones are still brand new and then the other one is used. So if I, you know, scar up the hook point or something, I know that which one's brand new and which one's not. But as you can see, a little #1 Gamakatsu jig hook. It's got a lot of spring to it there. A lot of spring on it. And I'm just gonna snag one of these little Ned bombs to put on the back. Snag one of these Ned bombs. You can see it's kind of a typical Ned body, but it's got that little beaver-shaped tail. So I'm gonna kind of measure it to see how far I need to thread it on there. So got my measurement there. I'm gonna thread it right through the middle of the bait, trying to keep it as straight and even as possible. And then the spring, I'm gonna kind of moosh it up on there, and then try to do my twists. See how many twists it takes. There's 1, 2. 2 is close. 2 is close, but we're gonna go ahead and get a 3rd one on there. Yeah, that's it. All right, so we're gonna take this little dude and put it on a spinning rod. Got a Cashin micro jig rod. That's a real versatile rod. I've thrown, this is actually a Ned rig I already had on there. And I'm gonna take him, this is 8-pound Sunline fluorocarbon on there, the Sniper FC. I'm just gonna put a San Diego Jam knot on there again. That's what I like with fluorocarbon. Do 4 wraps. And then we're gonna put it back through there. Put this little dude on there. You know, with the jig head, you really need to kind of get it into some cover to see how it does, but I know what that hook's capable of because we use that same hook in our micro jig. Caught a ton of fish on that thing, but I want to see how this bait falls. With a 16th ounce head, watching this thing fall, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So with the Ned bait, you want that thing to kind of sail, and then you want it to fall in a kind of a gliding action. That's really one of the big keys to a Ned bait and fishing a Ned rig, having that bait glide and kind of dart a little bit on its fall, making it look natural, like it's kind of swimming. And the bait definitely does that. But just, you know, when you fish a Ned rig, you don't want to drag it like a shaky head. I thought that's kind of how you fished it to start with, but you're just kind of almost like you can lift and let it fall back down, and you kind of let it, you know, touch the bottom here and there. But you're just going to slowly kind of work it back in, and believe me, they will thump it when they want it. Uh-oh. Got him. I was just holding it over the side of the boat. So yes, the Finesse Jig Head, I've technically works. It'll catch them from this size all the way on up. And if you hold that over the side of the boat, that's all the line I had out. I was just holding it right there and he ate it. So that was kind of a cool way to finish it up right there. But that's definitely going to be into my arsenal. Huge believer in Gamakatsu hooks. Nothing really special about it. It's just kind of a half moon kind of shape to it. Nothing crazy, but the deal with that having that rounded head versus the total flat mushroom is that rounded head will allow that bait to kind of roll a little bit more on the bottom. And I like that. Obviously, again, the hook is second to none, not going to be beat. And then the screw bait, pretty cool deal there. This is more of history for me, history of the whole spy bait phenomenon and where that came from. And that's definitely going to be a collector's piece for me. But I'm going to keep it in the boat just in case situations arise. And then the Serious Wiggler, the Boom Boom tube. This thing is legit, very good tube. So may have to invest in a few of those. But that's the tackle test for today. Hopefully that helped you guys in stocking your tackle box with a few more things.